Hi everybody, I hope you're all well. It is really quite cold today in the south of England, though I am in my fluffy fleece, keeping me warm as I work through the day. So I'm filming this on Wednesday, but it is scheduled to be released on Thursday because Thursday I'm having an in-office day and having an office Christmas lunch out. So I'm not going to be around in my house in order to film and upload this video. So if I do it beforehand, then it's sorted and I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it'll be as usual after tomorrow. So and we'll see how we go. But yes, it's day number 4 for the Bookishly Christmas Advent Calendar. In case you haven't seen any of the other videos or announcement, I purchased the adult edition of the Bookishly Advent Calendar this year, and it is day number 4 to open it. So let's see what we find out, and as usual I will include a link to Bookishly's website down below in the description. So here we go. Let's see what this is. I'm not sure what this would be. It's quite a thin one again. So what's the back cover? Oh god. Is it? Oh, there's Frankenstein. Is this Frankenstein? It's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh, I love the greens and the purples. Oh, very nice. Oh, right. Again, this is definitely, or at least my gut is telling me this is an abridged version, because that definitely doesn't feel right. I mean, I have got a I think it's Penguin classic one, and it's much thicker than that, but it did have a lot of information about Mary Shelley and the writing of Frankenstein as part of it, so it might be because of that, but something in my gut is saying this is abridged. And of course, yeah, we've got the Wentworth Classic because it's a dust cover that you get as under Bookishly. There's no reference to the artist as usual, and no Spotify track listings and such that you can scan in order to listen to a Spotify playlist for it. That, yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So what's Frankenstein about? Frankenstein is an absolutely amazing classic book about a guy called Victor Frankenstein, who is a scientist, and he goes quite through a horrific time of his life, and there's a lot of death and such, and he's obsessed with science, but he's also kind of obsessed with life and death and stuff like that. And he comes to this kind of conclusion about how wouldn't it be interesting, or is it possible, to using electricity, because electricity really and he gravitates towards electricity, using it, is there a way to bring the dead to life? And so he sets out on this mission by forming this man creature, or what you want to refer to him as, out of body parts of various dead people, and bring it to life. And the creature, as you know, as he's kind of referred to throughout, goes by the name of Adam. And yeah, it's all of that man's power over life and death, and also asks questions about God and such as that. It's a phenomenal piece of work, and Mary Shelley wrote it when she was like 18. Like 18! It is truly one of the most incredible piece of writing that exists. And it's very interesting also because it's actually written from, well, it begins in letter form of a captain of a ship who are traveling. It's the Arctic Circle, I believe, yeah, and their ship has gotten stuck in the snow, and it's just it's like a long letter, a long diary entry to his sister, talking about what's happening and such, and then all of a sudden this man appears and he's saying, look, I'm being followed, and he's near death, and they take him in and they start looking after him, and it's Victor Frankenstein, and Victor starts telling his story, and then it's his story, and it's absolutely incredible. I really like the characters as well, even the good and the bad, and Adam himself, I just find just so intriguing. A character, he's extraordinary. And there's a BBC Radio 4 production. I have reviewed this book on my channel. I will include a link to the book review I did, and in that I talk about various adaptations, and I remember talking about the particular thing that I want to say right now is that there is a BBC Radio 4 production of Frankenstein which I love. It is so good, and also I don't know if at the time that I recorded that I don't think I'd seen it by then, but the National Theatre production of Frankenstein with Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch is absolutely fantastic. The best version, because what it is that both actors play both roles. So there is a version out there, recording on the National Theatre at Home subscription, that you can stream from home. I'm subscribed to that. I absolutely love it. There's two versions. There's one where Benedict plays Adam and Johnny Lee Miller plays Victor, and there's another one where it's the other way around. The best version, or at least in my view, is where Benedict plays Adam. I think he's just so good in that role. They're both brilliant, absolutely amazing, but I feel like particularly Benedict played Adam more like how I saw him and how I would interpret him to be than how Johnny did. So that's just my own opinion, but there we go. But yeah, I really like also the way that Mary Shelley, and obviously Victor, writes women in his in I refer to his instead of her then, I don't know why, because I'm probably thinking of Victor and Victor's story, how Mary writes women in her book. They're really fascinating, how they see the world and women's roles and the wants and needs from life, and how they can compare and conflict with Victor, and how he has this way that he views the world, and he's very much like, this is how I see it, I'm not willing to bend or break on this. And it takes a lot of stuff to happen for him to even start to fathom to see something else. It's a really dark gothic novel, and it was famously written when Mary and her husband and Lord Byron and friends of theirs were holidaying together, and there had been a volcanic eruption that had happened not long before, and that caused like lots of massive storms going on. So there was this massive storm going on, they couldn't go out and such, and they were just like, well, let's write some ghost stories, or that. And Mary started writing Frankenstein because of that holiday, because and her background and her interest in science and everything. It's truly astonishing that she wrote this at like 18. I cannot fathom it. It's truly one of the most magnificent piece of writing out there in the world, and it's just stunning, absolutely stunning. And I always found it quite interesting how Victor, when he collects the body parts and he's putting them together, he sews them together, and obviously sewing, because of the time that it was written in the 1800s, is very much thing that a woman does. When you associate sewing, obviously with medicine, it was only a thing, obviously you sew up various body parts and everything in that field as well, which was only available to men at that time. But the way that he talks about how he sews the parts together and being so intricate and such and delicate, it made me think of women sewing at that time, and the fact that this was written by a woman. It just, there's some delicate moments in this book that you just wouldn't expect to exist, and I don't know if that's because it was written by a woman, but it is just one of the most astonishing pieces of writing. I don't know how many times I've said that this video or so far, or how many times I will say it continuing, but I won't be continuing on for too long, I promise you. But yes, it's truly dark, it's sinister, but you know, it's got so much grit and gore to it, but there's something so delicate and light and life affirming and just truly beautiful about it, that it's like a painting of like a Monet painting or a Van Gogh or you know, another any painting, like, or even the Scream, you know, painting. Who's the painter right now? It's just, the name isn't entering my brain, but you know, like a stunning painting of an artist that just makes you stop, because you can't you cannot take it all in at once, and you are captured by it so much that it makes you stop and have that as your pinpoint focus. That is what this book is for me when I come across it, when I start reading it. It's just like, bam, that's it, that's my world, that's my focus. And yeah, it's incredible, absolutely incredible book. So yeah, and now I've got this one, stunning cover. Woo! I really like this cover, it's really cool. So yeah, I'm intrigued now, because that's quite interesting that was the one that was that thickness, because yeah, I would have thought that meant that this was a Brit. So if that's Frankenstein, and I know my Penguin one is about at least double that, then what could other ones be that are quite big, that I've still yet to open, or quite there? I don't know, and it's making me even more excited for the next one. So yeah, so there we go, day 4, it's Frankenstein. So yeah, I will see you guys in a couple of days, and we will open book number 5. I hope you enjoyed this. Do you like these covers, how they're coming out and such? Are there any ones that you might want to predict that I could possibly open next? You know, let's see what happens. Let me know what you think of this book, and yeah, I will see you in a couple of days. Alright guys, bye.